Let me tell you a little tale, boys and girls. We're gonna get all autobiographical here about a young lad growing up in rural Wisconsin in the 70s, and how that devil music ruined his life. Yes, it did. We're not talking about allegorical stuff here. This isn't satire. This is real life, and I'm gonna tell it like it is, how prog rock ruined my life. It all began in the 70s. I'm living a normal life as a little kid. My house is a very musical house, so that's strike one. My dad played piano, sax, guitar. He played with Wayne King and Stan Getz, and so he was a jazz guy, so I heard a lot of jazz in the house. Growing up, Beatles, Zappa, that kind of thing, Miles Davis, Dave Brubeck. And then one day, my brother goes away to college. He comes back, he's got a cassette. It's got Fragile on one side, it's got Tarkus on the other, and my life is forever ruined. It is changed, irreparably broken from that moment forth. Why? How could music have that much power over somebody? Well, how could drugs have so much power over somebody? How could shopping addictions have so much power over somebody? How could a YouTube addiction have power over somebody? I don't know, but it does. Anyway, I did a poll, got my community tab, and one of the first things I did was put a poll up about what type of content you guys wanted on this channel. Number one was ranking and listing albums. That's awesome because that's what I love doing. But number two was just general prog discussion. So today I'm going to be talking about how this genre of music completely changed my brain's wiring in such a way that I was not able to function as a normal person in the normal world anymore. Like I said, Tarkus and Fragile opened the floodgates, and it was, a really, really bad thing for me. I mean, my expectation levels were so high now. As a consumer of music and as an aspiring musician years later, set the bar at a ridiculously high level. There was no way I was ever going to play guitar like Steve Howe, Robert Fripp, or David Gilmour, no matter how many hours I practiced. So it was really not a good thing for my little brain. As a consumer, I was expecting music to stay that great. And then the 80s happened, so I was crushed. But some of these things we're going to talk about are not just specific to prog rock. It could be, anything. Just fill in the blank. I'm putting prog rock in there because it affected me in such a negative way. It ruined my life. Like I said, I am not even kidding about this, So you're a kid, you're listening to this music, and all your friends are listening to crap. So now you're isolated, you're feeling like you're not part of the mainstream, so now you're feeling a little different. Maybe you have a friend or two that's into what you're into, but probably not. You're probably all alone on an island there, so you're either going to feel very isolated and alone, or you're going to do what I did and start getting a little bit of elitism, where you start thinking that since the music I'm listening to is better than that, I must be better than that. I must be smarter than that. Obviously, since I appreciate more complicated music, so it goes to your head and you think you're something you're not. It's actually really ridiculous. You become untethered from reality. I mean, look at the fantasy album covers and the fantastical lyrics of prog rock. It takes you to a whole other place, completely divorced from all reality. That's not a good place to be. I mean, come on, you're living in the real world. You're going to have to get a job. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do with your life. I didn't do any of those things. I had headphones on. I'm listening to Heart of the Sunrise for the 14,000th time. So the addiction angle of it, again, it could be prog rock. It could be jazz. It could be a sex addiction. It really doesn't matter. But again, the expectation levels makes me think of porn. You watch a lot of porn and you're expecting something as a kid, and then the real world comes around and you might be a little disappointed. Yeah. Prog is a lot like porn in that way. It's also a lot like drugs in that it's super addictive. So now all of a sudden I'm spending hours and hours and hours and hours listening to music. Then you grow up. Who's got hours and hours and hours and hours to listen to music? I mean, prog rock is long songs, expansive suites, sidelong epics, modern prog bands doing, hour-long songs and whatnot. As an adult, you're supposed to have time to listen to all that stuff. Well, I never grew up because of prog rock. I never grew up. I never had kids. I never became an adult at all. Adulting just didn't happen in my life ever. And as a result, I made a lot of bad decisions. This boy here, I don't need to get into details, but yeah, this boy here did 18 months in prison. Yes, I did. Yeah. Back in the early 2000s. I'll talk about that in another video. I lost everything because of prog rock and my wanting to be something I wasn't, thinking the world was something it wasn't, having a really distorted view of myself and the world around me. I blame prog. Oh, yes, I do. Absolutely. And now here I am rebuilding my life. Look at me, man. I'm really doing it here now. But now I'm completely addicted to vinyl. Like I've got the money to be spending on vinyl every week. It's ridiculous. I blame prog. It's all your fault. I'd have a lot of money in the bank if it wasn't for you too. And then I'm a 59-year-old man who just started a YouTube channel talking about music. Come on, man. I should be, worried about, my kids going to college or this, that, or the other thing, or how's my 401k doing? I don't have no 401k. Are you kidding me? Prog rock ruined my life. And I am serious. The pursuit of pleasure and happiness. That is what it boils down to. I was always looking for that next song, that next album, that next band that gave me that high, that gave me that uncomparable feeling that drugs never could give me. Nothing else could give me. So yeah, it's a real thing. Too much pleasure, the pursuit of it. We have religions that teach you that that's actually a bad thing. The ascetics and Hinduism, Calvinism within Christianity, they all teach you that you shouldn't be worried about earthly pleasures and all that stuff. You should be worried about things on a higher realm. And I never did that. All I cared about was listening to music, wanting to be a musician, wanting to be a rock star. Obviously that didn't happen. So here I am in the prog corner. Yeah, they put baby in a corner, but I ain't mad about it. Yeah, prog rock ruined my life. Absolutely it did. Without a shadow of a doubt it did. I'm pissed off about it, but what can I do? I am who I am. I love prog rock more than I love anything else in the world. I love you. My wife is probably going to watch this and probably not going to be too happy, but she knows it. She's got to put up with me thinking about it 24 hours a day. It certainly doesn't help my relationship. I implore you to go to a previous video I shot, how to get your wife into prog. That helped. That has certainly helped. But let's be honest. She likes some of it, but she's not thinking about prog 24 hours a day. It just isn't her. And that's my problem. I'm working on it, but what can you do? Anyway, I just wanted to explain to you guys how prog rock completely ruined my life. It did. I'm not happy about it. I'm not proud of it. But here I am. And anyway, I love you guys. This is just a short, fun little video I wanted to do because I've said it many times how prog has ruined my life, and I'm dead serious. But I don't care. I'll take that hammer to the head any day of the week because that's just the kind of freak I am. Anyway, I am Scott from the Prog Corner. Hit that subscribe button if you're digging what I'm doing here. Don't hit that subscribe button if you hate it. Either way, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I really don't have a whole lot else going on in my life. Anyway, see you freaks later.